they wanted to go ahead and they wanted to just say her cause of death was natural because they knew her from the hospital. But that wasn't enough, because I'm like, okay, how can this child just laughing and playing and running outside today and then go to sleep and not wake up? I wanted to know what happened. So I requested an autopsy. And so that's when we found out that she passed away from cardiopathy. But however, once the toxicology report comes back, you see that she had so many diseases. I'm a little surprised how she was still living.
New York, D-Town, LA, NO, Florida, Mississippi, KC, MO, Show 'em what you stand for. Show 'em what you stand for. Show 'em what you stand for. Chi-Town, Tennessee, Carolinas, Alabama, Oakland, St. Louis, Detroit, Atlanta. Show 'em what you stand for.
Welcome everybody to another wonderful episode of the Kings Can Move On podcast. You have one half of your crew right here, Big Frank the Tank, aka Big Reno. What's happening?
It's your boy Lil J coming to y'all once again. Another week on the illustrious KCMO podcast. So, welcome everybody. If y'all are listening or watching, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. We sure appreciate the support on YouTube and on all your podcast platforms.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Mr. Frank the Tank,
Yes, sir.
let me ask you a question. What do you know about nonprofits?
I know that they don't make no money. They are broke. They are some of the brokest organizations in the world. I don't know why people do them, because I'm in business for profit. I don't know what non means. Non means I ain't doing it.
Okay, so we're gonna break down that stereotype tonight with our guest. We have actually someone that runs a nonprofit. I actually met her. She spoke at my Rotary Club meeting just recently, and I'd asked her to come on the show. She runs a nonprofit named Children Like Loni. It's here in Houston, Texas. And I believe she is the director, correct me if I'm wrong, Miss Khiva Mackey.
Hey, Miss Khiva, how you doing today?
I'm well. How are you?
We're doing great. We're doing great.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Khiva, like I said, we met at the Rotary Club, you spoke. So I know a little bit about your organization, but we're going to dig back into it since we have an audience now.
Okay.
But like I said, your organization is called Children Like Loni, right?
Yes.
So you can give us a little background about the organization, and what's it all about, basically.
Okay, sure, no problem. Well, let me touch back on what Frank said. You're right. A nonprofit is not what it is, nonprofit. And so, but there are other ways that, we do. A lot of people see that nonprofit is what it is for nonprofit, but there are other ways and avenues that we do get money. We do receive money and funding and grants to keep the company or the organization moving and growing, so that we can help the community, the overall nonprofit. Most nonprofits, honestly, any nonprofit is founded and built on a passion or something they experience in life. And that's how a nonprofit is pretty much created, something that has happened in that person's life, or something that they have dealt with or can relate to. And that's how nonprofits are pretty much established versus.
Is that how yours was established?
For profit, yes. So our nonprofit was established due to my daughter. Her name is Loni. Loni was born with a genetic disorder, which is chromosome 1 and 7. A lot of people don't know what that is because the doctors didn't even know what it was when she was born. So chromosome is a genetic disorder, of course. So you always have a pair or 2 chromosomes. Well, her chromosome 1 and her chromosome 7, she only had 1 pair. She didn't have a pair, she only had 1 of each. So that made her different, put it that way. And what different looked like for her was her mobility, her intellectual disability. So she looked like a normal child, but she was not deemed Down syndrome. She was not deemed autistic. So because they didn't have a name for it almost 20 years ago, they just put it as mental retardation, but that's not what it was. So she became a study throughout her whole entire life. So when Loni passed away at the tender age of 11 on Mother's Day of 2015, going into having this nonprofit actually was not supposed to be a nonprofit. It was just something that I was doing to as a grieving process to help grieve, you know. So when you lose a child, I mean, I would never wish that on anyone, but when you lose a child, it put me in a state of depression, mental illness, suicidal thoughts. So I had to have something to do to keep my mind going, because therapy wasn't working for me.
Forgive me, but for interrupting. But did she pass because of her illness, or was it because of something else?
So she did. So here's the thing: she passed. So she was born with chromosome 1 and 7 deletion and choanal atresia. So choanal atresia is the nose. So she was born with the nose, but she didn't have the airway. So so once she made it outside of the womb, she could not breathe. So they had to do immediate surgery and things like that. So she was born with complications. But what she passed away from was cardiomyopathy, which is an enlargement of the heart. The reason why she died from that is because, and we didn't know anything about the heart, because she suffered severe, what is the word that we use? She suffered from, what is the word? I can't even think of it right now, but she had severe respiratory. So with the severe respiratory causes CPAP, causes sleep apnea, obstruction. I'm sure you know what that is. And so when you have sleep apnea, it does wear on the heart if you don't wear that mask like you're supposed to. And Loni was one of those children that hated that mask. And when I put the mask on, I can see why she did. Because it's like driving down a freeway at 120 miles with the wind just blowing in your face all day, all night.
Mm-hmm.
Who can stand that? But that's what it took so that she could, have a better quality of life. Well, she was not a fan of that. So with that being said, over the years, we did not know that her heart was enlarging because of that, because it was working overtime. So that's what she passed away from. So she passed away in her sleep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, on Mother's Day.
My condolences to you and your family for that.
Thank
it's been a while, but still.
Yeah, and I always tell people, now I can talk about it because it's been right at 9 years, but it's something that you never forget. You never forget your child, but you just learn to live with it. I often tell people, all the time that, you go on and life goes on, and she was my third child. So I have 4 children. She was number 3. And so I had to kind of get back into the groove of things because I had other children dependent on me.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what caused us to go into putting Children Like Loni together. And so what we did was we took everything that she liked to do and everything that she did not get a chance to do, and we want to give that back to the children that are like her and the young adults that are like her. And one of the things we do, our biggest program that we have, we started off as life and social skills. We started off with a STEM program for children with intellectual disability, because oftentimes, how you go to school, and have you ever been, I know we all been to school, especially the special needs children, they always with special needs children, right? Mm-hmm. So think about it. But when they come home, all of their siblings are not special needs. Right. So why put them all together like that?
Right.
So our program put them with other children that are what we call normal. So we bridge the gap. We put them together because that's what outside of school, that's what they're around. They're around family, they're around their cousins, their friends and their siblings, and they're not special needs. They're just
don't want to isolate them.
Right. And so what it does for that child that has special needs, they don't know they have special needs because they're not treated as such. But when they go to school, they're reminded that they are, because they put them all together. So I wanted to take that away from them. I want to take that away from their mindset. So we have a program, one of our biggest programs is our food pantry. We have a food pantry that we serve low-income families for children. But the spin to that is that we allow young adults with intellectual disability, specifically like autism on the spectrum, we'll allow them to come in as a job readiness program for them. So they come in and they work and they volunteer. So we call it serving while learning. So they're being included into the community, and they are learning to advocate for themselves, learning the life and social skills, organization skills, and then they also get to advance off to transition over to a job readiness program, which is, you know, going to work for a grocery store, going to work for one of our other partners in businesses that we that is for profit that we partner with. We partner with for-profit businesses so that they would be able to have some type of a job, and so that they can be able to have a better quality of life as well. And so it works, and it's been working since the day that we started. We just, you know, continue to implement other programs to make sure that they have everything that they need.
So, excuse me. So Khiva, so you started that about 8-9 years ago.
Yes.
Your daughter passed, and you said you started off with just something to do to keep your mind busy. So from just starting at that point, how did it grow into what it is right now?
Okay, so yeah, so growing is getting out. We grew from because we still have these programs, especially our STEM program, our arts and craft program, our life and social skill, financial literacy. We do have those programs, and that's how we grew, because as we began to get different types of children and different type of young adults, we kind of assess and to see what their goals are and what they're good at. And so we implement these programs based off their needs that we see. And then we are so big on community. So we always do it every quarter we do a survey with the community or with the families and saying, okay, what is it that you would like to see in this program? What would you like to see your child do or learn from this program? And so that what we do, we take that and we combine and get all that data, and then we put programs together based off of what the needs of the community, what they're asking us. So growing it, when you say growing, we have about 4,000 families in our database.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we have a lot of that. Yeah, we have 4,000. And so we partner with a lot of businesses and companies to help us to continue this program, such as we have the Houston Texans, we have like the Cotton Foundation and things like that stand behind us and support us a lot in our events and programs and things of that nature.
Where do you find your kids at? Or where do you find kids you're helping?
Oh, we're partnered with the school district.
Okay.
We're partnered with Cypress and KDISD, and so we work very close with the counselors and the life and social skills specialists there at the schools, professionals at the school.
Okay.
So when did you realize that this wasn't just something that you were going to just do to pass the time, and it's actually going to be a full-blown nonprofit organization? When did that click for you?
When all those kids start coming to me. When all the families start coming, and I'm like, okay, I guess we're on to something. So
were you working another job at that time, or?
Yes, so I will take it back. I come from corporate America. I was a quality assurance manager for the government. So that's my background, quality assurance. And so that was it's a change. It's totally different. And I had no idea what I was doing. I was just trying to pass time of grieving. So I know how to make money for profit, but I didn't know anything about nonprofit. So that was a whole different arena that I had stepped into. But the kids when we start doing these programs, and then I have children myself, and they have friends, and they tell their friend, and then also I guess our biggest thing is we're connected with one of the precinct 4 here in Houston, Texas. So once you're connected with the precinct, then you kind of open to different things and resources. So that's how we've gotten out there. So now we're considered what we call a wraparound service. So we don't just have a food pantry for those special needs children. We help those single parents and parents that are dealing with, say for instance, they coming out of a divorce or bad relationship, domestic violence, and they have these children. We provide them services for us, helping them get on food stamps if they need to be on SNAP benefits. We help them we're partnered with the Houston Young Lawyers, so we help them with making sure that they get a divorce or a protective order. So we have even a law team on our side to kind of navigate us through, the process. We do immigration as well, so we help those families that are coming here and have nowhere to start. I had to learn that a lot of those families that come over here from Mexico or any other country that is an immigrant, that they're not allowed to be on government assistance or state assistance. So the food pantry is their grocery store.
What are you when you help folks like that, is a requirement that their child has to be a special needs child, or
No, because we deal with, remember, we bridge the gap. So our focus is special needs, but we deal with all children because that's the inclusion. So if you fall in the category of low income or immigration status or something like that, then we help you. And if we're one of the organizations that don't put a lot of the food pantries out here, and I'm sure in Kansas, your zip code zone. They want to know about your proof of income, proof of this, bring your ID. They want the whole, just like applying for Medicaid or SNAP benefits, they want your whole life. Well, we necessarily don't require all that. And so we're not a zip code base either. So if you can get to a food pantry, we're gonna feed you. And so, yeah. So I feel if you drive an hour and a half, because some of our recipients do, then you must be really hungry.
how do you get funding?
We get funded through community. We are community based through partners, our partners that we have a relationship with, like businesses that's in our neighborhood. We're not state or government funded. We're not. We're not. No, we're not. Yeah, a lot of people say, we're not. We just partnership, just networking and letting them know who we are and what we do, and they love our mission. I tell you, one guy comes, he's one of our top, he volunteers with us faithfully. Did not know he was a retired top man from the ConocoPhillips. So that's where our funding comes from.
Nice.
Just by somebody coming in. And see, that's the big thing, because we always open our doors to volunteers to come in and be a part, because before we ask you for anything, that's just me. I think me personally, because I would want somebody to do me. I would want to know. I don't want to just write you a $10,000, $15,000 check or $20,000 check. Who are you? Where you from? Let me see what you do. Like, let me see. So we always invite, before they become donors, we invite you to come and see the work that we do. And most of them are touched, and they see the passion, they see the love, and so they want to get involved, and that's what they do.
So I'm sure you have the staff, and all that with more than 4,000 families. So let me ask you, so when you start up a nonprofit, so say someone wants to start a nonprofit.
Okay.
What you've learned, what are the key steps you have to actually get a nonprofit off the ground and going?
Well, first of all, you have to get all your documents ready. For stuff, filing your 501c3 documents. I forgot what that form is. It's been so long, but you have to file that form. And then you have to have your formation, your bylaws. That's to get it started. So going through the Texas State Income Control, making sure you get your EIN number, make sure you have your board of directors and your board members. I'm sorry. The number one thing I can tell someone that I did not know going in is coming with a strong board. That's what drives a nonprofit. Yeah, that's what makes it work. Coming with a strong board, and a board that is that's supportive, and the board that has a lot of people that they're connected with.
Yeah.
So that's what keeps it. So that's something I always tell people, make sure, because if you don't have a board, a good working board, it really don't go anywhere, because the board has to work it, because you can't do it all by yourself. The founder can't do it all, or the executive director. they can't do it they can't do it themselves. It's impossible. It's possible, but it's impossible for you to grow to where you're trying to grow. It depends on how far. Because some nonprofits just want to be, just a, mom. I don't want to say mom pop, but they don't want to be so huge and big. They just want to help at this capacity. But that's not what Children Like Loni is. We're continuing to grow. So yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So we know what you guys do, and we know why you were, why it was birthed, right, from the loss of your child. So with your organization, is there a specific cause that maybe goes into like research or studies to deal with like the things your child was struggling with that no one could figure out?
Well, we started that way, and like I said, we have not really touched into that fully as we would love to, because they never knew what the cause was. But I will tell you, when Lonnie was born, it took me forever to get qualified for SSI for her. And because one of the reasons, because her diagnosis was not on the list. So we fought over and over and hard and hard and hard. And we had to end up getting an attorney. And once we got approved, I wanted to take it up a notch. So we went all the way up to the Capitol and we fought it that no other child would have to go through this, knowing that if I'm walking in a court and you see my child hooked up to heart monitor, oxygen tank, breathing machine, what makes you think that she was not disabled? But she was disqualified because it was not on the list. Now, if you go and look at that list, it's called variable. So any child that comes up with a disease or a diagnosis that is not on the list, that does not stop them from getting the services that they need from the state. It just diagnosed, they just label them as variable to help them so that they will be able to get, because there are so many diagnoses now and causes and diseases that it's not on their list and they don't know them all. But that shouldn't stop you from getting the services. But because of that, because of us pushing it all the way, we've opened the door for other children to be able to have access.
Does she have a life expectancy?
No, she did not have a life expectancy. We just thought that from what we've known from the doctors and her physicians, because she stayed up under the doctors since birth, that she would be fine. So we expected her to live a full expectancy, like we just knew that she was not probably going to be able to live on her own. So we had those things planned out, so if anything should have happened to me or something, we already had it planned out, where she was going to go, who she's going to be with, or just being with me. I had, put it in my mind that she was going to be with me for until her duration, until I leave or she leave. And, but when we did, because she passed away at home, they wanted to go ahead and they wanted to just say her cause of death was natural, because they knew her from the hospital. But that wasn't enough, because I'm like, okay, how can this child just laughing and playing and running outside today and then go to sleep and not wake up? I wanted to know what happened. So I requested an autopsy. And so that's when we found out that she passed away from cardiopathy. But however, once the toxicology report comes back, you see that she had so many diseases. I'm a little surprised how she was still living.
Wow.
She had over 1,000 diseases.
Wow.
I still have it. As a matter of fact, it's the report is. I'm like, whoa, and we were the doctors were shocked too. Like, we surprised she even lived to 11, but she did.
How was your and I ask you to go back a little bit. How was your grieving process for your kids?
It was very hard because I have all girls and they are very, very close to each other. So it was grieving, and they still grieve. Like, her birthday comes, they grieve, and they one of my girls, Lonnie and her, they're 2 years apart, so they were very, very close. They actually slept in the same bed together. So it's just like, yeah, so it's very hard for her. And then my oldest daughter, she was like the second mom because I trained her how to take care of her because I was the parent that like, okay, she can't go anywhere. She can't be at everybody's house. So we have to take turns. And if you want to go somewhere, this is your weekend, this is my weekend, but she is not to leave and go stay with somebody else. That was just out of the question, for her safety because she was nonverbal. And so with her, she had my oldest daughter actually on her 21st birthday, just got on the flight to go to California for her birthday for me to call her the very next day and say, come home. Yeah, so they grieved her a lot, and they went through counseling, and they better, and they still do things. They're part of the organization as well. They work behind the scenes, but I have one. The one that's 2 years. They're 2 years apart. She's my go-getter. She's my researcher. She's my writer, my grant writer. So she
Oh wow, she writes the grants for you.
She writes the grants.
Really cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they work in the background. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
And I imagine that's where the money comes from. But I was thinking, so we talk about making no money. So back when I was young, I used to think nonprofit, like Frank was saying earlier, like I was nonprofit. There ain't no money in it. Ain't no money in that. But I did work for a nonprofit a few years, many years ago. And I worked there for a few years, and all my checks cleared, no checks bounced. They kept paying me, so they made money somehow. I still don't know how, but they make money. And I wonder sometimes, people have your your funds for your causes and for your benefit the community and so forth. But then you have a staff that you got as well too, right? Is it all come from the same resources as far as?
No.
Okay.
So most nonprofit, the ones that are community based that are not government or state funded, our number one ways of getting money is fundraising. Fundraising is our number one thing, and we have to be very strategic in planning these fundraisers and trying to make sure that we still build these relationships with the businesses or what have you. Second, that's one of the things. And so you have your salary, then you have your program operation. So that's why I tell everybody, when you in nonprofit, you are begging. You're in the begging business. You beg. I learned how to, and I'm the type of person, I'm not going to ask you but one time. If you say no, shoot, I've learned. I keep asking you till you tell me no. All you can do is I'll ask. My mom said, you'll talk to a dog if you talk to your back. I sure will. But it wasn't like that at first. It took me to get out of my shell to say, you know what, I'm doing for a greater cause. And hey, what's the worst they could say besides no?
No, hang up. No one hang up. Okay.
Exactly. Bye. All right. Then I know you're not interested, But yeah, and it's keeping those relationships, always, when you partner with someone, even if they give you $5, $10, $20, you just want them to feel like, hey, this $20 has really, it's going to make a big impact, because you never know, that's probably all they had and they try to give it to you, or if it's not all they had, that's not something that they normally do. And so when you let them know that, hey, I truly appreciate this $20, because this $20 can feed 2 or 3 families, this $20 can buy a box of food or something for someone, or it can buy a gift for Christmas for a child, then it makes them feel comfortable, like, oh, you know what, she appreciates that. I'm a look out for her. I want to, make sure that, they have more. Like I have one guy, he's in, Durango, Colorado. He's an attorney, but he's a faithful donor every year, faithful. And he's not even here.
So Khiva, with that though, and I'll ask you, how do you, if someone wants to invest in or donate to your organization, how is it, and they only have, like you said, only have $5-10 a month to give. They want to do it, they want to do that. What are ways that you show them, hey, here's what your money goes to. Here's how much your money means to us.
Right. So first of all, we're going to always send them a thank you. We're going to always continue that relationship with them throughout the, without like every quarter we'll send out, hey, how you doing? We just want to let you know we're thinking, thinking about you. We want to try to make it personal and let them know that we just don't want your money. We really want to build a relationship with you. And we also, at the end of the year, every quarter, we will send them an impact report so they get to see the numbers. We're an open book. Yeah, you get to see. Yeah, we send out newsletters and things like that, quarterly newsletters, which they can subscribe on our website. And we typically have our impact report on our website. We're working on that to get that and putting that on there so they don't have to wait for us to send it. It's already on the website. So you see where your money is going. And we don't just, so when we do our impact report, of course, it's going to show what the money is spent on, how much we spent, how many lives we impact, we impact, and then you see pictures of these people receiving the recipient, the receivers. So you see that. So that's one of the ways that, that's one of the most important, effective way to show you where your money is, where your funds are spent.
It's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. And so, Khiva, since you ain't too proud to beg, why don't you let folks know if they do want to find the organization and reach out? How can they get you?
Yes, we would love to partner with anyone that support our mission, and that is to reaching the lives of these children and feeding our community that are low income, Houston most vulnerable communities. You can reach us by visiting our website at Loni, LONI.org. And you can simply click on donate, and you can donate a one-time donation, or you can become a monthly sponsor. Just think about it. Just think if you had 10 people give $10 a month throughout the year. Mm-hmm. It may seem small, but it's so big. Within it's so much. It means a lot, and it's a lot. It's that money. Those donations can go so far with programming. Say, for instance, because we do have our after school program that we're revamping, because we've had that before in a year, so we're revamping that. That covers our supplies for the program, for the art supplies and things for the program. So you are being a part. Every time someone donates, you are definitely a part of and giving into the programs that we provide for these children.
And then folks can also volunteer, right?
Oh, absolutely. We love our volunteers. We absolutely love our volunteers. And you can visit us on our website as well. If you go to the website, like I said, likeloni.org, and click on our work and click on get involved. And you scroll down and it will tell you can click on and to register to volunteer, sign up to volunteer. And one of our specialists contact you and via email and let you know and then it gives you our different projects. So it's a cool form because it lets you know all the projects that we're doing and so we want you to be able to, we don't want you to say, oh, just come volunteer at the food pantry. No, because that may not be something you want to do. You may say, hey, I want to do the turkey drive, where we give out turkeys and things for Christmas and for Thanksgiving. You may
Where you get some turkeys from? I need to ask them.
Listen,
Kansas City.
We have been so blessed. Actually, next week we'll be giving out 600 turkeys.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're so excited. We've been blessed to be able to give out 600 turkeys on next week for families for Thanksgiving. So just not turkeys, but the whole box, the food box, and everything.
Listen, man, she's trying to tell you there's money in this thing. There's money in nonprofits. Right? I didn't know. I was looking up. The PGA Tour is a nonprofit. Did you know that?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, they are a nonprofit organization.
I did not know that.
Yes. Most companies, honestly, most companies that are for profit, say for instance, look at the Houston Texans or any other football players, any other what is it? Because we just played y'all not too long ago, I think. But they have a nonprofit within or foundation, which is the same thing, a nonprofit within their company. I think even the grocery stores like HEB or Kroger's or whomever, just look into that and you will see that they always have a foundation in that within their company that they support, or they have is, or if it's theirs of their own. Because it's like recycling money.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I just sent you a donation, by the way, while we were talking.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Because I do have a family member that has special needs, and
Mhm.
you have a very, very good message. So I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you for what you do.
Yeah, thank you. You know what, Jason, I just met with Mayor Turner's ex-wife yesterday. We had a meeting, and I was like, "How did you find us?" She's like, "I was just moved by your story." I'm like,
Really?
"Oh, okay, yeah."
You have a great story.
Thank
Great
you.
story.
Thank you.
Great story.
Well, I'm just, I think what it is that when you're transparent, I think it goes a long way. And in the beginning, I was so very shy of talking and telling my story. But sometimes I feel like, okay, if my story is going to help someone, or help someone, or be that light, and to get them to where they're trying to go, then hey, I'm an open book. Anything that I can do to help, then that's what I'll do. If it's causing me to tell you all my dirty stuff to help and heal you, then that's what we'll do.
Right. Right. That's what's up.
I think being transparent and being authentic,
Thank you.
it really goes a whole long way, and that's
Yeah.
what we try to highlight on this show. We try to highlight stories like this.
Thank you.
So we really thank you for coming on. I appreciate you taking this time to,
Absolutely.
tell your story.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. And I think we have out of time, Big Frank.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, Lil J.
So, Miss Khiva Mackey, we appreciate you. That's Frank the Tank.
Blessings to you, Khiva, and your organization and your family.
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for your donation.
Hey, anytime.
With that, y'all.
Don't call me.
I'm gonna call you.
We out.
All right, Kings of the Wall.
New York, D-Town, LA, NO, Florida, Mississippi, KC, MO, Show 'em what you stand for. Show 'em what you stand for. Show 'em what you stand for. Chi-Town, Tennessee, Carolinas, Alabama, Oakland, St. Louis, Detroit, Atlanta. Show 'em what you stand for.